You know, I like to start by taking pictures right away. That gets me in the mood and gets me going. That's what I did in this first 1 mile of my walk. I still have a long way to go. I am walking to my parents' farm this morning. It's some 8 miles away, but I'm taking a lot of detours because, as you can see, it is beautiful out here. I'm just trying to make the most of this. So the premise for today is very simple: to walk as much as I can and to make as many images as I can. These little roads or paths around town, they are prime habitat for me. I just love it here, and I've spent hundreds of hours with my camera in hand trying to make images around here because this is just perfect. The combination of the fog with the open spaces and all the structures and tiny buildings, sheds, fences, lawn trees, antennas, power lines. It just looks so cool and so eerie. I don't know if the puppies agree with me or not. So by positioning myself here, I use the road as the main subject, but also the lines on the sides as leading lines, so they guide the viewer through the image. And in the background you can see that power line, but not very clear because it's very far into the fog, and also a little bit of this antenna, which creates a little bit of mystery in this image. That guy saw me taking photos and he came to tell me that it wasn't a good morning because you couldn't see much. To which I replied, but it's beautiful, isn't it? And he stared at the landscape, at the nothingness, and he said, I guess so. It's understandable, but in my opinion, there is nothing more beautiful than these conditions. This is just amazing. I love it. So I just saw that stick there that looks very cool with that tree in the background. It's an image that I would like to make, but in between there and me there is a lot of wet and frozen grass, and I'm just trying to decide if it's worth getting my feet wet for the rest of the walk. All right, I'll do it. I hope you enjoy that. That right there, that structure, is a potential good subject for a black and white image because, of course, it's white and it's brighter than its surroundings. The background is darker. We just need to be careful with what else we include in the frame. So if you take a look, you'll see the road right here, which is not as bright as the structure, but is much brighter than the rest of the frame. So if we include both themes, they're gonna compete to be the theme that stands out the most in the frame. Okay, so that's image number one, just the structure by itself. Now I'm gonna work on an image including the road. This time I'm going to be showing a second structure that is farther down. So here the road will have a purpose. It's going to serve as a leading line that is going to guide us through the image, first to the first structure and then to the second one, and then it will disappear. We also have to pay attention to the light, of course. This side of the structure is much more interesting than the one that I just photographed. That side didn't have any features, while this one has a door, you can see more of the roof. It's just better. The light is all wrong here. The sun is behind, so we wouldn't be able to see any of those things without compromising the exposure in other parts of the frame. So more importantly than finding an interesting subject is to look for good light. That is what is going to make or ruin your image. This right here is your classic, very well-known composition of the lone tree in the field, in the fog. It's a very simple composition, a very simple image. But simple doesn't mean easy. There are so many things that we can try here, so many things we can play with, even when we have so few elements to play with. I could talk about this for a long time, and actually I think it's gonna be just a better idea to make a video just about this. But for now, what I'm gonna say is this. We can play with the horizontal placement of the tree on the dead center of the frame, more to the left, more to the right. That is gonna be determined by the shape of the tree and whatever is in the background, so we find a good balance in between all of those elements. We also have to play with the vertical placement of the tree. If we place it on the top of the frame, we're going to be showing more of the ground. If we place it on the bottom of the frame, we're going to be showing more of the sky. If we place it in the dead center, we're going to be showing equal amounts of the ground and the sky. Every one of those options is going to have a dramatically different effect in the final image, and it's up to us photographers how to capture it. In this case, I made just one image where I placed the tree in the center, both horizontally and vertically. The main reason why I did that is because I'm very limited here. There is a fence, so I can't get on the field. If I were able to go there, I would be playing from the different angles, getting closer, farther away from the other side of the tree. I would be able to make more images and play with different placements of the tree. But in this case, I am very limited. But as I said, I'll be making a video about this. I think it's very interesting, all the things that we can do with just one tree in a field. This would have never worked without the fog. The background is just too busy and there is not enough contrast between the subject, that is that weed right there, and the trees and the ground in the background. So the fog helps a lot, and what I did to make that weed stand out even more is to use a gap, a little gap that there is in between the trees in the background, so they are showing like a brighter spot, and I placed the trunk of the weed in there, and I think it makes for a beautiful and very simple image. I like it. So that's pretty cool here, because we have a very clear line that goes from the bottom of the frame from the foreground all the way to the top to the background. It's a little bit too bad that there is nothing of interest to the sides. A tree here, a tree there would have made this almost perfect, but it's very good as it is. I took a photo. I'm gonna have to work on it, making the sides darker, so this the bright water, you know, is even brighter, stands out even more in the frame, and it leads to the trees in the background. And this is exactly what I was talking about. I think this image is better than the previous one because that tree on the side of the canal makes it more interesting. But this was also the first time that I missed my wide angle lens this morning. I have with me only this one, the Super Zoom 28-200, which I love because it's very versatile and I can take all kind of images, photographs with this lens, but it kind of falls short on the wide angle side sometimes, like here. So I wasn't able to fit the whole tree in the frame, which is fine because, you know, it's a constraint I had to work with, and I decided to just cut the top of the tree because in any case the tree wasn't the subject of this image. It was the canal and that bright line that goes from the bottom right of the frame to the top left almost, and the tree is almost like, you know, hinting a little bit of what the landscape might look like around here. Yeah, I like this one. I like this one. This is a very surreal part of town. This was supposed to be an industrial area. They built everything, the roads, the street lights, there are services like power, sewage, everything is ready, but for some reason it's closed. There are no factories, there are no companies here, there are not even cars on the roads. So this is a great place to just come for a walk and on days like today to take some photos. And just like that, the day got sunny and clear, but this is not the fog burning off and going away or anything like that. It's just me leaving town behind. As I've mentioned before, this fog is very localized within just a few miles. If you don't believe me, let me show you. I really like the shadows from the trees here. I tried to make a couple images. They might work, who knows. But I would have loved to have my 35 1.4 here, a wide, fast lens, so I could focus on the foreground, so the rest of the frame could go slowly out of focus. That's what I had in my mind when I saw this. I tried to do that with this lens, but of course at 35 millimeters or so it goes down to 3.2, so the depth of field is much bigger than what I could get with a 1.4 lens. But still, the shadows, the contrast is there, so it might work. Alright, so I finally made it. It was a long walk, almost 12 miles. It also took me a long time because I stopped to take a lot of photos and record a lot of videos. I think it was almost 5 hours out there, but I had a lot of fun, and it's always a pleasure and a joy to actually be doing some photography in these amazing conditions. Now I gotta get ready to go back. I'm riding my bike, so it should be much faster. But I wanted to thank you for being there, for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the images I made. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.